Welcome back, my friends. Stellantis announced that its lead Jeep production factory will shut down on February 28. That headline will send shockwaves reverberating around Detroit. The factory currently builds the Jeep Cherokee SUV. The Jeep Cherokee is one of Stellantis' best-selling vehicles. And they are shutting down production. Right now, more than 1,200 employees work at the Jeep plant. The affected employees will be placed on indefinite layoffs, Stellantis said. This was a difficult but necessary action, said Stellantis. Friends, it is truly a time of uncertainty in the United States. What does this mean for the future of the car industry? What does it mean for the economy? And, what does this mean for the future of the United States? But, before we get into all of that, please press the like button and leave a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos. Today, Stellantis announced that it plans to indefinitely idle a Jeep plant in Illinois. The shutdown takes effect on February 28. The worldwide auto giant says that it needs to cut costs as it invests in electric vehicles. Well, that is interesting. It was only a couple of months ago that the Stellantis CEO announced a new electric Jeep. The transatlantic automaker was formerly known as Fiat Chrysler. And, if you were old enough, you probably remember when Chrysler was owned by Daimler. It was called Daimler Chrysler at that time. If you were really old, you probably remember when Chrysler was an independent Detroit automaker. But I digress. Stellantis said the plant will cease production effective on February 28. Our industry has been adversely affected by a multitude of factors, Stellantis said in a statement. Like the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the statement continued. And the global microchip shortage, the statement also said. That the most impactful challenge is the increasing cost related to the electrification of the automotive market, Stellantis also said in an emailed statement. The company called the shutdown a difficult but necessary action. We are working to identify other opportunities to repurpose the factory, said Stellantis. The car-making plant is located in Belvidere, Illinois. And with that shot heard round the car world, Stellantis said that it has no additional details to share at this time. The Belvidere, Illinois plant has only been running on just one of 3 assembly shifts. And this is not the first time that it has been shut down. In fact, it has sporadically been idled before. Most recently, during the coronavirus pandemic. And it was also shut down during the on and off semiconductor chip shortage. Sales of Jeep Cherokees are down by 61% through Q3 of this year. That sales drop is more severe than for any other vehicle in Jeep's product line. There could be other reasons for the sudden shutdown. Fears of a recession. Collective bargaining next year with the United Auto Workers Union. And don't forget the regular whipping boy, the weak macroeconomic environment. UAW negotiations with the Detroit automakers has led to plant closures in the past. In 2018, crosstown rival General Motors announced plans to potentially close several facilities. But only one of the major assembly plants was actually closed. That was the Lordstown Assembly in Ohio. And, if you follow the car industry, you probably remember that the Lordstown plant was sold. It was actually sold to Lordstown Motors, which just shipped its first electric pickup truck made at the plant. If you follow this channel, you already know that the auto industry has been generating a fair amount of news recently. That the recent news has been mostly about new electric vehicle announcements. And, of course, the sky-high prices of cars these days. Actually, car prices seem to have been in a bubble since the start of the pandemic. But, only recently has that bubble been starting to pop. And, the Belvidere, Illinois Jeep plant will probably go down as the event that started the car bubble. If you recall from earlier this year, there has been a parade of new electric vehicles for the United States continues. Stellantis has just introduced a new electric vehicle that stirred up some excitement. Just as a reminder, Stellantis is based in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Stellantis owns Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram in the United States. And, for the most part, Stellantis seems to have its act together with its US brands. A couple of months ago, Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares introduced the all-new Jeep Avenger electric SUV. The new Jeep Avenger puts a stake in the ground. It aims to challenge Tesla, Ford, and General Motors in what is becoming an electric vehicle arms race in the United States. Stellantis introduced what it is calling the first pure EV Jeep. The new Jeep Avenger was just introduced by Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares at the Paris Motor Show. Sneak peek details of the new Jeep were first published last month. According to Stellantis, the Jeep Avenger's targeted electric range is 400 kilometers, or a little under 249 miles. Stellantis will use its own sites to generate half the energy it needs for manufacturing by the middle of this decade, Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares told reporters. We have decided the appropriate investments for Stellantis to be able, from a manufacturing standpoint, in 2025 to produce 50% of our energy needs within our own sites, said Carlos Tavares at the Paris Motor Show. Stellantis brands also include Fiat, Chrysler and Citroën. Reservations for the all-new electric Jeep Avenger opened today. The new Jeep Avenger is scheduled to arrive in showrooms next year. Stellantis is targeting all passenger sales in Europe to be battery electric vehicles by the year 2030. In the United States, Stellantis is targeting 50% passenger car and light-duty truck battery electric vehicle sales mix by 2030. All of this comes at a time when climate change continues to wreak havoc on the environment. These targets come as major economies set out strategies to move away from the internal combustion engine and to focus on battery electric vehicles instead. Individual countries and U.S. states are legislating a change away from internal combustion vehicles. The European Union has banned sale of new diesel and gasoline vehicles starting in 2035. The UK, which Brexited 2 years ago, has set similar targets. Tesla has led the way with a now well-known and very popular lineup of electric vehicles. Legacy Detroit automakers are changing their stripes and joining into the electric vehicle parade. A strategy to focus on its own energy supplies is not unique to Stellantis. Mercedes-Benz CEO Ola Källenius set a similar goal for his company. Mercedes plans to build a wind farm somewhere in northern Germany. Mercedes has made a decision with a European energy provider to build a large-scale project in the Baltic Sea, said Källenius. Meanwhile, the all-new Jeep Avenger electric SUV has generated a lot of buzz at the Paris Motor Show. The Jeep Avenger is a small SUV powered by 400-volt electric drive system. The electric Avenger is the first vehicle from Stellantis joint venture with Nidec. The new electric Jeep Avenger has a 115 kilowatt electric motor and a 54 kilowatt-hours battery. This battery drive combination provides a range of 400 kilometers. The battery can be charged with power as high as 100 kilowatts DC. In the announcement, Jeep gives the charging time of the Avenger at 24 minutes. The Jeep Avenger is mainly targeting the fast-growing B-SUV market segment. The Jeep Avenger announcement comes after General Motors CEO Mary Barra has announced that the company will transition to an all-electric product line. Starting in the fall of 2023, the transition begins in earnest with the all-electric Chevrolet Equinox EV. The Chevy Equinox EV price range will start at $30,000. At that price, General Motors expects the Chevy Equinox EV to be a high-volume, mass-market vehicle. Then, by 2035, all General Motors vehicles will be electric. This rollout plan is General Motors' second chance at trying to become the mass-market leader in the electric vehicle market. The $30,000 price tag may seem high, but no car makers have been able to make an electric vehicle priced that low so far. We can absolutely catch and surpass industry leader Tesla in U.S. sales of electric vehicles by 2025, said CEO Mary Barra. The $30,000 entry price of the Equinox EV compares to $66,000 for the Tesla Model Y. And it compares to $35,300 for gas-powered crossover vehicles in the same category. The Equinox EV will enter a much larger market than the smaller Bolt models. The crossover vehicle market is much larger than the small car market in the US. General Motors has created its Ultium electric vehicle platform on which all of its crossover vehicle product line will be based until at least 2030. The driving range of the Equinox EV will be 250 miles to 300 miles, depending on the battery size. It will be a front-wheel drive vehicle with 210 horsepower and 242 foot-pounds of torque, said Barra's CEO in a statement. This announcement comes as the average price of a new car purchase in the United States has now reached $48,000. That is up from $39,000 just 2 years ago. The price of new cars and trucks rose % in 2022, according to a report by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. But, what do you think? Have we seen the end of affordable cars? Will the shrinking wealth of the middle class make cars unaffordable? Or, will electric cars become the new affordable cars? Please press the like button and leave a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.